Good afternoon from the wonderful North Wilkesboro Speedway. The A-Main is almost here, but we still need to find out one thing. Which 10 drivers will complete the lineup for the 2018 Summer Showdown? And that is what the B-Main is all about. 33 cars are in this race, the biggest field so far. 50 laps, the longest race so far. But to keep with the consistency, caution laps will still count, single file restarts, and again, no mandatory pit stops. But that is our first story, tire wear. Tire wear will be critical since this race is twice as long as the second round of heats. And if the drivers take new tires, they will go at least 2 seconds faster than on old tires. Will that play a factor today? The second story is BUBBA and Smoke. The 2 fastest drivers from qualifying are in the B-Main. Why? They were involved in a serious head-on crash in the Heat 5 of the second round. Miraculously, they will both keep racing despite being sore from the crash. They will start 9th and 10th respectively. The third story is the Big 3. All 3 of the Big 3 are in this race. Kevin Harvick and Martin Truex will start 23rd and 24th respectively. And Kyle Busch survived the C-Main and he will start 29th. Will any of them make the big show? One final story is the format. It is 50 straight up laps. How you get into the A-Main is simple. Finish in the top 10. Does not matter where you finish within the top 10, so long as you're in the top 10 after lap 50, and then you're good to go. Everyone else is done. Now then, here is the starting lineup for the B-Main. On the pole is Joe Nemechek, driving for his own team, and AJ Allmendinger will start second. The lineup is set based on how many points you earn from qualifying, the 2 rounds of heats, and the passing points earned from round 2. If there is a tie, like with Joe and AJ, the time from the qualifying is the tiebreaker. Joe was faster, so he's set with the pole. But the pole has not been a friendly place to be lately. Can Joe survive? Row 2 is Michael McDowell, who's had a pretty good summer showdown so far, and Clint Bowyer, 3rd fastest car, will start 4th. Austin Dillon and Hailie Deegan will start in row 3. Austin starts ahead of Hailie because of speed. William Byron and Parker Kligerman will start in row 4. Kligerman, at one point, was last of 80 teams, but had an impressive round 2 to place him in a favorable position. Row 5 has the fastest and second fastest drivers, BUBBA and Smoke. Sore, but ready to go for the B-Main. A couple of short track aces are in 11th and 12th. Alex Bowman and Christopher Bell can make a statement this afternoon. David Reagan starts lucky 13th, and Brett Moffitt, surprise winner of round 1 heat 10, will start 14th. Ryan Reed will start 15th, and Greg Biffle will start 16th in the 69 nice car. Row 9 consists of 2 different generations. Jesse Little in a new Roush Ford, and Bill Elliott in a second Levine Family Racing Chevy. Noah Gragson will start farther back, and Jeb Burton will start 20th. Kaz Gralla had a forgettable round 2, he will start 21st, and Sam Hornish Jr. will start alongside with. As mentioned before, 2 of the Big 3 are in row 12. Kevin Harvick will start on the inside, and Martin Truex Jr. will start on the outside. Truex's teammate for this race, Brandon Jones, will start 25th, and Landon Castle will start along with in the number Dolo Dario Chevrolet. Denny Hamlin had a forgettable round 2 as well, crashing early and earning no points, and Harrison Burton will start alongside with. Now here are the cars that transferred from the C-Main. Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson, the 2 that tangled at Chicagoland, will start next to each other in row 15. Matt Kenseth and Black Mama, aka Dylan Smith, will start in row 16. And finally, in comeback fashion, Jimmy Johnson passed Jordan Anderson on the final lap of the C-Main to earn the final position for the B-Main. The cars have fired up here, and they're going to take their 1 pace lap around here at North Wilkesboro, and then it's on. 50 straight up laps, and your only goal is to finish in the top 10. Joe Nemechek starts on pole. Can he stay there? Allmendinger is second. But the focus is going to be around the 10th position, because what's important there, very simply, is if you are 10th or above, you are in the A main. But if you're 11th or worse, you're done, and you get to watch all the other drivers have fun, 100 laps under the lights for the 3rd annual Summer Showdown. But before we get there, we still have the B main. Base car is in. Nemechek, Allmendinger, McDowell, Clip Boyer, or someone else out of the back. Green flag is out. We are racing the B main. In the turn number 1, McDowell is not wasting any time as he is to the inside of Joe Nemechek and AJ Allmendinger. Down the back straightaway, McDowell is looking to the inside of Allmendinger. He is not wasting any time as Clint Boyer's to the high side, and look how close this is as they are 4 wide, and look at Bubba Wallace taking advantage as 4 wide. And Alex Bowman is not wasting any time either. We got trouble. Tony Stewart spins in front of the pack, and Matt Kenseth gets into Tony Stewart. More trouble in turn number 3 as Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex, and Brandon Jones get into the outside wall. So that did not take long at all as the caution is out and we have major problems. This is like championship implications, except there is no championship involved in this. Austin Dillon has a lot of rear end damage. Alright guys, let's look at the replays and let's see what the heck happened. So even though that's 50 laps, they were not wasting any time at all as David Reagan sweeps a little high into Tony Stewart, and that's where the cars all went to the outside wall. So Boyer into the outside wall, Tony Stewart gets a little bit of air, Christopher Bell gets a little bit into Tony Stewart. The only real other issue was Matt Kenseth, who really had nowhere to go, pops into the side of Tony Stewart. Just watching again, it is so amazing how close everyone is, and look how like the top 3 all sweep up. That lets Parker Kligerman and Brett Moffitt on by, and now they are in the top 10 because of this incident. Now mind you, it is still really early. There is still plenty of time in this race. Tony Stewart does not have too much damage, and so if Tony Stewart can play his cards right, I think he can make his way back up into the top 10. We're going to take one replay here of the wreck in turn 3. Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, all some of the elites are farther in the back, and Kyle Busch gets into his teammate Denny Hamlin. Hamlin loses it, spins up the track, and into the Furniture Row teammates of Brandon Jones and Martin Truex Jr. Denny Hamlin has quite a bit of rear end damage. Martin Truex and Brandon Jones, I believe Brandon has quite a bit of damage. Martin Truex, not too bad for Martin Truex. But Denny Hamlin, plenty of damage to the rear end of his car, and thus because of that, he's going to have a hard time moving back to the front. The field has gotten to 1 to go here. The one thing I am very surprised about, no one pitted. No one went down pit road, no one got tires, no one really even repaired their car. That's interesting. I use that I word again. But it's true. It's very interesting. I find it very intriguing that no one decided to pit. It could be too early, and the tires could still be fresh, but at the same time, I have no idea. But the pace car is in, and so AJ Allmendinger is your leader. Michael McDowell is in second. Bubba Wallace all the way up to third. Then it's Nemechek, Bowman, Haley Deegan, David Reagan, William Byron, Parker Kligerman, and Brett Moffitt, your top 10. Here we go, guys. Green flag is back out, and we gotta watch. Does anybody pass underneath the line? Oh no! I think Jimmy Johnson did. Shoot. I'm following Jimmy Johnson here down the back straightaway. Are they calling him in? And going down the back straightaway? No. Nope. Jimmy Johnson is still on track. I don't know if the black flag is out, and we'll keep an eye on Johnson, but so far so good for JJ. Meanwhile, up front, Bubba is now in second. Allmendinger is your leader, and we're going to go back to 10th right now. I believe it's Ryan Reed, as Noah Gragson is to the inside, and Brett Moffitt is starting to lose positions as they are 3 wide farther in the back. And it looks like Jimmy Johnson is clear, so no worries about him passing below. And Jimmy Johnson, though, is moving forward as well as Kyle Busch. Kyle was involved in the early wreck, and he is moving up fast as Harvick gets really loose down to turn number 4. That has been a very difficult turn as Joe Nemechek is slowly fading out, As right now, Ryan Reed is the 10th bubble, but it looks like that's going to change as Nemechek is going to fall to 10th. And it looks like Nemechek is going to fall out of the top 10 and could potentially be done. So right now it is Ryan Reed, but Bill Elliott is underneath, and Jimmy Johnson from last, and he's already up into the top 10. Strong run by the 48, and he is not stopping anytime soon. As we got farther behind as Harvick and Kyle Busch, they are farther in the back as well. As right now Harvick is 15th, Kyle Busch 16th, but they still have plenty of time to move forward. As Jimmy Johnson has an absolute rocket as he continues to skyrocket forward. And Bubba Wallace is in the lead. I want to mention that. Hailie Deegan is in 4th. And how about the front row teammates? David Reagan and Michael McDowell are 5th and 6th respectively. But not to rain on their parade, but there is still plenty of racing to go. Christopher Bell is also making his way up to the front. Let's see the updates. Oh, hold on. Farther in the back, Denny Hamlin wrecks. Denny Hamlin, I believe, got turned by Clint Bowyer, and thus the caution is out for the second time today. As the cars come back to the line here, Bubba remains up front. Allmendinger second. Alex Bowman, I think Alex Bowman has a little bit of right side damage, is in 3rd. Deegan is 4th. And guys, look what we got. Cars are pitting as they come down turn number 3, and it looks like everyone is coming down pit road. Looks like tires are important, guys. As everyone is coming out pit road. I'm just watching to see if anybody decides to not pit. And no, everyone is taking fresh tires and fuel. So as they come on in, we got Bubba Wallace here. We got Alex Bowman. Boy, it is feeding time at the zoo as everyone is taking it in. What I'm curious about is anyone going to take any strategy. Oh, farther in front, William Byron gets into Parker Kligerman hard. That is not good, as Kligerman definitely has issues. And it looks like Bubba and looks like Allmendinger wins off pit road. Bubba second. Well, there you go, guys. There you go. Nothing really strategy-wise, but everyone is taking fresh tires. All right, so we caught the tail end of it, but let's see the replay of the second caution of the race with Denny Hamlin and Clint Bowyer. Off of turn number 4, Denny Hamlin was running in round 24th with Harrison Burton and Clint Bowyer to the high side. Fortunately, though, for the 11, he is still running, and I might add I'm actually kind of surprised about that. One more time here as Joe Nemechek, we just want to mention because he started on pole, his car is not up to speed. Going to run the 50 laps here. But Denny Hamlin into the outside wall, Harrison Burton there to the inside. But we still have quite a bit of racing to go. So that's the other part that I'm very curious about is how is this race going to continue to develop? So the cars are taking the 1 to go here. We got 20 laps complete here at North Wilkesboro, so 2/5 of the race is done. Allmendinger is your leader still. Bubba Wallace is up to second. He's going to redeem himself from round 2. David Reagan with an excellent pit stop is 3rd. Hailie Deegan up to 4th. Alex Bowman drops back to 5th. Michael McDowell to 6th. Jimmy Johnson with probably the strongest car here is currently 7th. And then the rest of the guys in so far, Noah Gragson, Christopher Bell, and how about Kyle Busch, also from the C-Main, is in 10th. And then the first 3 out so far, Bill Elliott, Kevin Harvick, and then William Byron is in 13th. And Martin Truex, 14th with damage. Anything can still happen as Parker Kligerman to the inside, 1 lap down. Green flag is back out here, lap 21. And turn number 1 here as Bubba Wallace splits the middle and he wants the lead. Into turn number 3, Bubba Wallace to the inside of Allmendinger. I use that word term again, to the inside of, as Hailie Deegan is looking to the inside of David Reagan. Alex Bowman is behind Hailie Deegan, and Jimmy Johnson looks to gain more positions. Down the back straightaway here, let's go back, and Michael McDowell is falling. And I think Michael McDowell is outside the top 10, which is critical. Landon Castle on pit road. We see him. I wonder what happened to him as, boy, that was, oh, there we go. And Kyle Busch gets to the outside wall hard. And we got more trouble in turn number 2, Calamity. Lots of cars wrecked. Jesse Little, Tony Stewart wrecks again. Landon is now a lap down. Sam Hornish has lots of rear end damage to the back of his car. So currently Bubba Wallace is your leader. His lead was over a second before the caution came out. Allmendinger is second. Haley Deegan on her redemption tour is currently third. Currently at the moment, we got Alex Bowman in fourth, Johnson fifth, Noah Gregson sixth. Then we got Christopher Bell, William Byron, Michael McDowell ninth, and then Kevin Harvick is holding on in 10th. So let's see what happened here. So Kyle Busch was 10th around there as Bill Elliott dives to the inside. And David Reagan, I think, was trying to block, but nothing could happen there. And Kyle Busch, innocent victim, into the outside wall. Heavy hit as Bill Elliott gets some air. Kyle Busch, lots of front end damage. I do want to watch the beginning here with Kyle, Bill, and David Reagan again. Bill Elliott was diving on in. And by the way, Bill Elliott was 10th. So that's very interesting because Elliott is 10th, Kyle Busch 9th, and then David Reagan was 8th. Bill Elliott tried sending it in, but to no prevail. In a place where a wreck really normally doesn't happen, that's in turn 1, like deep into turn 1. So let's take a look at the second part of this wreck. So you got the other 2 cars of the big 3, Kevin Harvick and Martin Truex Jr. You got David Reagan right there. Harvick went down, Truex went up, and it creates a chain reaction. Larson gets a little bit of damage. Jeb Burton gets into the back of Sam Hornish, so that explains Sam Hornish's damage. Tony Stewart gets into Hornish, and that's how Hornish gets into the outside wall. Ryan Reed far behind got loose. Jesse Little spins around, and then you see the rest of the cars to the inside. And there's a little bit of bumping and banging, but nothing too severe. Oh boy. Kyle Busch, oh, he's gone. Yeah, he's behind the wall. He's out. He's gone. We don't know where he is. Very disappointing for the 18 team. He had such a strong run in the C main. Thought he could get into the A main, but for the 3rd year in a row, will not be in the A main. The field has gotten to 1 to go here. We are on lap 28 right now. In terms of the Landon Castle deal, he was dinged with being to the inside. He was dinged with the black flag, and thus he had to do a stop and go penalty, and thus that's why Landon Castle is now 1 lap down. Some people are probably going to be very happy that Kyle Busch is out, others are disappointed, but hey, it's just a freak accident, and the race rolls on. So the top 10 currently in: Bubba Wallace, AJ Allmendinger, Haley Deegan, Alex Bowman, Jimmy Johnson, Noah Gregson, Christopher Bell, William Byron, Michael McDowell, and then Kevin Harvick has the last spot. Green flag is back out here, and Brandon Jones did not get a good jump as he slows into turn number 1, and Harrison Burton is able to slingshot ahead. David Reagan swings high. It looks like he's going to lose some spots. Down into turn number 3 as Allmendinger does not have a good run, and he's going to fall back a few positions as lap down traffic is going to cause chaos for the leaders. Into turn number 1, not turn number 3. Landon Castle is to the high side, and who's also up there? Haley Deegan in 76. Bubba is able to clear. Alex Bowman is second, but I'm focusing on this as right now Harvick has the last spot, but here comes Kyle Larson. McDowell now is 10th as we go into turn number 1, and Larson looks like he's going to take it and now move Larson into 10th. McDowell is now in 11th, Greg Biffle in 12th. Landon Castle is starting to fall back a little bit more here as we go down the front straightaway as Harvick gets a little loose. And Allmendinger now is in front, and let me double check. Yes, Kyle Larson is the first car out, or first car in, I should say. Greg Biffle is the first car out. Harvick is currently in, and right now Bubba is your leader by a little less than a second over Alex Bowman. Jimmy Johnson is third. Christopher Bell has made his way up to the front as he is now fourth. And then William Byron and Noah Gregson are side by side, and Haley Deegan is making her way up to the front. One thing I am very curious about is how hard are these guys going to race? Oh boy! Sorry about the squeak as William Byron gets into the inside wall. He does save it, but he has a lot of damage to the left side of his car, and that is going to complicate things. Into turn number 3 right now, Greg Biffle is the first car out. Landon Castle is a lap down, so not a big deal for him. But I wonder how complicated is this going to get, as right now Noah Gregson and Haley Deegan have kind of pulled away here. As right now, Austin Dillon, I just want to mention, is currently all the way back in 30th. His car is not working the way he wanted it to be. As right now, 35 laps and now 36 are going to be complete, as we have a lot of action going on here. Landon Castle and Parker Kligerman, as we mentioned before, those two are a lap down. And that's nice. Kyle Larson has a little bit of a barrier between himself and Greg Biffle. Sam Hornish is slowly creeping back into the picture. Look at all that with the rear end damage. Martin Truex is also still in it, as well as Greg Biffle is going to try passing one of the lap down cars, that is Parker Kligerman. And then Landon Castle is right there as well, as Larson is looking to the inside of Kevin Harvick. Now both of them again are currently in the show, so I don't know if Kyle Larson's going to race him too hard. Currently farther in the back, Greg Biffle is still in 11th, and he needs to still pass Landon Castle if he wants to get close to Kyle Larson. 38 laps, and we do have a battle brewing for the lead, as Bubba Wallace and Alex Bowman are close to each other, as they're going to reach the lap down traffic car of Austin Dillon. Bubba immediately looking to the inside of the 3, and the 88 of Bowman looks like it's going to follow suit. We'll keep an eye on this battle, but we're going to go back to this the final transfer spot, as right now Greg Biffle is having a hard time trying to get around Landon Castle. As Larson is looking to the inside of Harvick, I don't know if that's a smart thing to do, as Larson and Harvick get into each other, but it looks like it's going to be okay for the moment. But right now, Harvick is the last car out, or last car in. Jeez, that's wrong. But anyway, Alex Bowman is all over the back of Bubba Wallace, but again, I don't know if they're going to race him that hard, as we do have 10 laps to go, as Austin Dillon has fallen a lap down. As meanwhile, farther in the back, look who's also in the picture. That is Martin Truex Jr., as he is now behind Sam Hornish and Greg Biffle. Kevin Harvick has kind of fallen off pace, as Larson has started to pull away here, with now only 9 laps to go. I think if Biffle can get around Castle, then I think he has a shot at Harvick. But he needs to get around the double O of Castle in order for anything to happen. And how about again, Martin Truex and Sam Hornish, both of them very severely damaged, but they're right there. As Biffle gets a little loose, as we now only have 8 laps to go. As farther up front here, as look at Bubba and Bowman, they are in heavy traffic with Brandon Jones, Denny Hamlin, and Joe Nemechek. Johnson is still in 3rd, kind of all on his own. And then we got Christopher Bell in 4th. Deegan and Noah Gragson are kind of on their own little island battling with each other. As we go farther in the back, and look at this, side by side for 11th, as Sam Hornish and Greg Biffle are going at it. And look at Landon Castle, as he's getting close to Kevin Harvick here with 6 laps to go. Boy, I wonder if Landon Castle gets around Kevin Harvick, that's going to open up a can of worms possibly. As now with only 6 laps to go, Kyle Larson has gone underneath Allmendinger. That's not really that big of a deal, it just solidifies his chance to be in the A main. And right now Landon Castle has fallen back a little ways, as Greg Biffle has fallen a couple spots. Tony Stewart is moving forward. I just don't think he has enough time. As now they're coming up on lap traffic here, as Austin Dillon almost gets into Kevin Harvick, but it looks like they're going to get away clean with 5 laps to go. Allmendinger and Kyle Larson are side by side, as Tony Stewart has caught this battle here. And again, I'm just going to be curious if they're going to do anything, or if Kevin Harvick is going to get that final spot with only 4 laps to go. Martin Truex is there. Tony Stewart is just inches. If Tony Stewart can get around Harvick, then that's it. But down the back straightaway here, we also got to consider too is the lap times have definitely dwindled a lot, as now they're only running 21-22 second lap times, where at the top they were running 19.5 seconds. But now with only 3 laps to go here, something needs to happen. Something needs to pass. Someone needs to pass someone else. As look at Bill Elliott passes Tony Stewart, and Bill Elliott is making a little charge to the front. Down into turn number 3, Landon Castle is right there, as well as Sam Hornish Jr. and Martin Truex is to the high side with only 2 laps to go, and Landon Castle is opening the door on Harvick, and Martin Truex is looking to the high side of Hornish, as they're now crawling around here. By the way, as we're watching this, Bubba Wallace has not passed, or Bowman has not passed Bubba Wallace, as the white flag is out. And again, no real reason to, as we'll just watch this for the win here. And look at this, as Bowman is looking to the inside of Bubba Wallace. We're going to have a side-by-side battle for the win, as Bowman and Bubba are side-by-side coming to the line, and it's going to be a dead heat, and I think Bowman wins it by the slimmest of margins, and coming to the line here, and it looks like no dice for anyone in the back, as Kevin Harvick will be the last guy in. So, Alex Bowman, what was the final margin? 3/1000ths of a second. How about that? So the closest finish, and it's probably the one with the least importance. But hey, Alex Bowman and Bubba Wallace are in the big show. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's talk about the 10 that are in. So Alex Bowman, by the slimmest of margins, wins the B main, and he moves on to the big dance, as well as Bubba Wallace. He redeems himself from the hard crash, and he is in. Jimmy Johnson, with one of the strongest cars in the B main, finishes in 3rd. Christopher Bell, short track ace, finishes in 4th. Good job by him. Noah Gragson is in 5th, so Noah moves on to the big dance. Haley Deegan is able to redeem herself as she finishes in 6th, and because of that, she moves on to the big dance. Kyle Larson, the other driver from the C main, moves on to the A main. William Byron is able to hold on as he finishes in 8th. AJ Allmendinger, well, it looks like the front row curse has slightly been lifted, as he started in 2nd and he finishes in 9th, moving on to the big dance. And then the last guy to make it in, Kevin Harvick, by the slimmest of margins, but Kevin Harvick moves on to the big dance. So then the drivers that did not make it. Martin Truex Jr. was the first driver out. Tony Stewart finishes in 12th, and so Smoke's rise is going to come just short. Sam Hornish Jr. is 13th, Bill Elliott 14th. Matt Kenseth had a little bit of a charge as he finishes in 15th. Then we got Greg Biffle, who kind of fell back at the end, finishing in 16th. Jesse Little 17th. Kaz Grala 18th, and then Clint Boyer finishes in 19th. Michael McDowell, who had a good start, ended up not finishing well. Brett Moffitt finishes in 21st, followed by Harrison Burton, and then all the other drivers. Dylan Smith, Jeb Burton, Denny Hamlin, David Reagan, Brandon Jones, Ryan Reed, Joe Nemechek, pole setter, will finish 29th. Landon Castle got dinged for going to the inside before the line, finishes in 30th. Austin Dillon had a very poor car. It sounded like he was down a cylinder, 31st. Parker Kligerman, 32nd. And then the only car out of the race, Kyle Busch, finishes in 33rd. So there you have it, guys. All of the prep races, 17 races are done. We now know the 43 cars and the 43 drivers that are in the A main. So we're going to take a little bit of time here to prepare this race. But guys, that is the next race to come. We're going to finally close the book here on the 3rd annual Summer Showdown. And now the question is simple. Who's going to win? Who has the best car? Who has what it takes? And who is going to be triumphant? So guys, if you haven't already, please hit the like on this video. Definitely helps bring awareness of this series and this show. Greatly appreciate it. If you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button. I greatly appreciate that too. So guys, the A main is next, and you will see that right here. I'll keep you guys posted on when that's going to be, and it's going to happen sooner than you know it. So we're going to take a break here. We're going to get everything set up, and we are going to see that right here at Griftar Productions. So we'll be right back after a few short messages.